Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be stitching up the Infinity Moss Crochet Stitch. This is just like a traditional moss stitch, except it's done in the round instead of in rows. It's super easy to do once you get the hang of it. So let's get started on round number 1. Okay, there's a couple ways that you could start this. You can either chain and slip stitch, or you can start with the magic ring. I prefer the magic ring, so that's what I'm gonna do. And now that I have my magic ring started, I'm gonna dive right in with my first single crochet. So I'm gonna yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then chain 2. I need 4 single crochets and 4 chain 2 spaces for round number 1. Here's my second single crochet, pull through 2 loops, and chain 2. So now I need number 3, single crochet, chain 2, and my last single crochet, chain 2, and this should give me 4 single crochets and 4 chain 2 spaces. Now I need to tighten up my magic ring, so I'm just going to pull on that tail until it closes up, but I'm not going to pull too tight because I need to be able to slip stitch into that very first single crochet that we put in our ring right there. So I'm just going to get my hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through the second loop on my hook. That closes up our ring. And you can see where this is kind of starting to take shape. You can see those chain 2 spaces make a really nice corner. I'm going to give my tail here a little bit of an extra tug so it's nice and tight at this point. And now we can move on to round 2. Okay, so round number 2, I have my work facing me from round number 1, but I'm going to turn it. So now the back side is facing me. And this immediately puts us back into our chain 2 corner space. And for this one, we need to create another chain 2 corner space. So single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And before we can move on to our second corner, we need to chain 1. These chain 1 spaces are going to create further spaces so we can continue to build out our project. So chain 1, work into corner number 2 with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then chain 1 to move on to corner number 3. Those chain 1 spaces are really important. If you don't have them after round number 1, your project is going to start to buckle from the center. So don't forget those chain 1 spaces. You need chain 2 in the corner, chain 1 between your stitches in the corner. So on corner number 4, I'm going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And before I slip stitch into my very first stitch in the round, I need to remember that chain stitch. So now all 4 of my sides are going to be even. For my slip stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the second loop on your hook, and round 2 is now done. So I should have 4 chain 2 spaces and 4 chain 1 spaces for round number 2. Each round is going to increase by 1 stitch per side, so you should have a total of 4 increases per round. Now for round number 3, I'm just going to walk you through this really quick. I turned my work and I'm immediately working into that first chain 1 space with a single crochet. And then I'll chain 1. And because I'm so close to the corner, that puts me right there at my very first corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, and now I have that chain 1 space to work into. So single crochet, chain 1, and I'm at my second corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, and then single crochet, chain 2, single crochet for your corners. So it doesn't matter how large your project gets, you're just going to continue to repeat these stitches over and over again until you get to the size that you want. And at this point, I think you've got it. So let's talk about changing color. This is a trick that I do, whether it's granny squares or infinity moss. Anytime I'm working in the round like this is what I do to keep my sides super straight. I have my work facing me. I just finished up round 3 with a slip stitch. So now I have the front side of my work facing me. And I can tell which one it was that I slip stitched into because it's a little bit wider than your usual single crochet. So I have that facing me. It is up at the top. Now I'm going to take my work and turn it over. And now I want to rotate it counterclockwise. So by doing this, it helps ensure that your work doesn't start to skew after a while because you're not pulling in the same direction. You're going to continue to turn and rotate your work as you go, and that'll help keep it straightened out. Okay, so I have a slip knot on my hook with a new color, and I'm going to just choose any one of these chain 1 spaces. I typically start next to my chain 2 space, but it doesn't matter. So insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's my first single crochet with the new color. And then again, I'm just going to chain 1, and then single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And then work my corners just like I have done on the previous rows with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and that's it. At this point, I think you've got it. If you've missed anything, do feel free to go back and rewatch at any point. I will also have links down in the description below for written instructions on the Ruby Grace blog, as well as Infinity Moss patterns in the Ruby Grace shop. Thanks so much for stopping by. Love your face.